So in business, there is a mountain of stuff to think about. When you start removing yourself from self-employed and start thinking like a business owner, it's more about working on the business rather than in the business, and starting to let go of some of the tasks that you're very used to, that felt comfortable, that feel safe and secure, and you start letting go of some of those to move up. Now, the key thing for me has been focusing on what the next logical step is. And the perfect analogy is like when things are working, life has a habit of coming kicking you fucking hard in the nuts. You know, I lost my mum in 2022, that came all of a sudden. The baby turned up 2 months early. I restructured my team last year. Everything was working, but then the dynamics to make it more profitable have left, we've lost some team members. Now we're facing some commission issues. Then all of a sudden, 2 months into a new training routine, fittest I've been in absolutely ages, blah, blah, blah. My bicep tendon goes and snaps in a stretched position where there's no tension on the bicep. Like your bicep normally snaps when you're splashing the guns. But it was in this position. So it's like, it happens when you least expect it. But the key thing I want to emphasize with this is how I've handled all of those situations is, number one, the foundations never change. So the operation was done a week ago today. I've been in the gym every single day, even if it was just to get out of the house, away from the wife, away from the kids, nothing playing on my ears, just so I could hear the sound of my own voice. The step was, arm snapped on a Sunday, go to A&E on the Sunday afternoon. It was then, right, what's the next step? Right, I've got to see the person before the pre-surgeon. I'm not good enough to know the names. See the person on the Tuesday. Then it was to see the surgeon. Then off of the back of that, they had a cancellation the next day. It was to get the operation. Now it's 6 weeks of this, but the first week until I saw the physio was basically walking around being scared of doing absolutely anything. As soon as I saw the physio, now this stops me extending. So now it's just a case of doing all this all the time and rotating the wrist to get it moving. Once we get to 6 weeks, the next step of the process is then physio, rehab, starting to lift weights. If I constantly thought about 3 months' time and what I can't achieve and do now, I'd be depressed. I'd be pissed off. I'd be frustrated. I'd be angry. But no, the mind is just, what's the one step? Once I've got to that point, what's the next step? And how can we actually just progressively move forward without frustration, without overwhelm? So the business journey is climbing a mountain. But if you constantly look at the summit, you're always going to feel like there's a shit load to do. The to-do list doesn't change, but just focus on what's the one thing that's going to move the needle enough? What's the two things that are going to move the needle enough? Marginal gains, compound effect is huge. The challenge is, you know, I'd love to say that you can lose a stone in a day. How many would like to lose a stone in a day very quickly? That'd be fucking awesome, right? If we made that pill, someone's getting rich. But it just doesn't happen. It takes time to build, it takes time to let go. So as an emphasis to this, following a conversation we had this morning, like the marginal gains mentality, if you were to think of a single solo person should be able to earn 75,000 a year as a self-employed individual. In my experience, if you bring somebody in to help you, you could double that relatively easy. Bringing in a PA, you know, beginning to leverage out some of those tasks and some of those activities, and then you'll start to see progressive growth. If you went 30% every year, by year 3, you're doing 195. By year 5, you're doing 329. By year 7, you're doing 556. By year 9, year 10, you're doing £1 million. 30% improvement every year, every month, every week has a huge impact on your business. But in the same instance, you can go the other way. If you're stressed out and absolutely slogging your guts out, as I did in 2016, you're working 60 hours a week. But let's take the mindset of working in reverse. As we start to invest time or money, you can start to reduce your hours. So a 20% decrease goes from 60 in 3 years to 48.8, 33.8 in 5, 23 hours in 7, 16 hours in 9. That's been my journey, essentially. As the turnover's gone in, I've invested some time at some point. I've got up earlier where I needed to be able to train the new person, to implement the new strategy, to invest in the new marketing. But periodically, as you build team, you create more time, and then you can start to step back and actually reduce the amount of hours that you want. Alternatively, you can continue to slog your guts out and you can build a £50 million a year company. It's just not the lifestyle that I want to live. Does that make sense? Does that resonate for anyone in particular? Does it kind of take some pressure off, or does anyone still feel real pressure that everything needs to be done tomorrow? Or are you just scared to say anything? Don't worry, I won't buy it unless I'm asked. So it's about progress over perfection. It's the biggest thing that I like to focus on. You're not going to get everything right. Trying is probably the one thing that I'm profound at, and not everything does work out. More things go wrong than actually go right, but it's actually in the failure that you find your success. So it's just giving it a go and seeing what happens from there.